Hey hockey fans, before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more hockey content. Now let's talk about the curious case of Zach Hyman, the Edmonton Oilers winger who's been lighting up the scoreboard. Is he really as good as the stats suggest, or is he just riding the coattails of two of NHL's biggest superstars? Let's break it down, but first let's take a look at his history. Hyman's hockey journey began in Toronto, where he grew up in the affluent Forest Hill neighborhood. His dad, Stuart Hyman, owned minor hockey teams in the Toronto area. Talk about connections, right? Young Zach played on the Ontario Junior Hockey League for the Hamilton Red Wings, a team conveniently owned by his father. He was named team captain and racked up impressive stats. In his final season, he scored 42 goals and 102 points in just 43 games. But was it pure talent, or did having daddy as the owner help? Hyman went on to play college hockey at the University of Michigan. And folks, it wasn't exactly a smooth ride. For his first 2 seasons, he was barely noticeable, managing just 9 points each year. Not exactly the stuff of legends, is it? But here's where things get interesting. In his senior year, Hyman suddenly explodes for 54 points in 37 games. Now, we're not saying it's suspicious, but that's quite a jump, isn't it? Was it a case of a late bloomer, or did someone finally figure out how to use him properly? The Florida Panthers drafted Hyman in the 5th round of the 2010 NHL Draft, but he never played for them. Instead, he ended up with his hometown Toronto Maple Leafs. And this is where Hyman started to develop his, let's call it, unique style of play. In Toronto, Hyman quickly gained a reputation as a hardworking, defensively responsible forward. But let's get real, he wasn't exactly lighting up the scoreboard. In 6 seasons with the Leafs, he never cracked 25 goals. His best season saw him score 21 goals in 71 games. Not terrible, but not exactly superstar numbers either. Now we get to the juicy part. In 2021, Hyman signed a hefty 7-year, $38.5 million contract with the Edmonton Oilers. And suddenly, Zach Hyman became a goal-scoring machine. Coincidence? We think not. Let's take a look at the facts. In his first season with the Oilers, Hyman scored 27 goals. In his second season, it jumped to 36 goals. But in the 2023-24 season, Hyman exploded for 54 goals. That's more than double his best season in Toronto. So what changed? 2 words: Connor McDavid. Here's where we get to the heart of the matter. Critics have started calling Hyman a backboard for McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. The theory goes like this. Hyman doesn't really create his own offense, instead he just parks himself in front of the net and waits for McDavid or Draisaitl to do all the hard work. Then, when the puck comes near the net, Hyman's just there to tap it in or clean up the rebounds. Let's take a look at some evidence. A large portion of Hyman's goals come from right in front of the net. We're talking tap-ins, deflections, and rebounds. In fact, one analysis showed that 41 of his 50 goals in the recent season came from either the crease or just in front of it. Also, Hyman's shooting percentage has skyrocketed since joining the Oilers. Is he suddenly a better shooter, or is he just getting easier chances? In Toronto, his shooting percentage hovered around 10 to 13%. With the Oilers, it's jumped to over 18%. Then we have the fact that his assist numbers haven't improved nearly as much as his goal totals. Interesting, isn't it? Now we can't talk about Hyman without discussing the elephant in the room, Connor McDavid. McDavid is arguably the best player in the world right now. He's an assist machine, consistently setting up his teammates for easy goals. Here's a quote from Hyman himself that's pretty telling. "I'm doing the same thing. They're just going in a little bit more this year. There are some pretty good players who make plays every single game, and I'm very fortunate to be playing with them." Notice how he credits his teammates? It's almost like he knows he's benefiting from their incredible talent. When Hyman is on the ice with McDavid at 5-on-5, the Oilers score about 4.5 goals per 60 minutes. When Hyman is on the ice without McDavid, that number drops to about 2.8 goals per 60 minutes. That's a massive difference. Another factor in Hyman's sudden goal-scoring prowess? The Oilers' lethal power play. Edmonton has consistently had one of the best power plays in the NHL, and Hyman gets plenty of time on it. On the power play, Hyman often positions himself right next to the goal. He's not making plays or controlling the puck, he's just waiting for McDavid or Draisaitl to set him up for an easy tap-in. It's a smart strategy, sure, but is it really the mark of an elite goal scorer? Remember that big contract we mentioned earlier? Well, when Hyman signed it, a lot of people thought the Oilers were overpaying. Now, with his goal total soaring, some are calling it a bargain. But here's the thing. Is it really a bargain if Hyman's success is so dependent on his teammates? What if he got traded to a team without McDavid? Would he still be worth that $5.5 million cap hit? It's worth noting how Maple Leafs fans are reacting to Hyman's success. Many are bitter, feeling like they let a 50-goal scorer walk away for nothing. But others are more skeptical. They argue that Hyman's numbers are inflated by playing with McDavid and that he wouldn't be nearly as successful on another team. One Toronto fan was quoted as saying, "If Reeves was on his line, he'd score 40. Now, that's probably an exaggeration, but it speaks to the skepticism some have about Hyman's true talent level. Now, we've spent a lot of time criticizing Hyman, so let's give credit where it's due. Even if he's benefiting from playing with McDavid and Draisaitl, Hyman still has to have the skill to finish those chances. Not everyone can score 50 goals in the NHL, no matter who they're playing with. Hyman's work ethic is also undeniable. He's known as one of the hardest working players in the league, always giving 100% effort. And his ability to get to the right spots on the ice is a skill in itself. As Wayne Gretzky famously said, "Skate to where the puck is going, not where it's been." Hyman seems to have mastered this. It's worth noting that Hyman has evolved his game over the years. It's not just standing in front of the net anymore. He's learned to find soft spots in the defense, to time his rushes to the net perfectly, and to position his body to deflect shots effectively. Hyman himself has spoken about his evolution. "You don't always have to be directly in front of the goalie to be in front of the net. You can be off to the side, you can flash screen, you can be moving." This adaptability shows that Hyman is more than just a static backboard. He's a player who's constantly working to improve his game and find new ways to contribute. And while we focused a lot on Hyman's goal scoring, it's important to remember that hockey isn't just about putting the puck in the net. Hyman brings a lot of intangibles to the Oilers. He's a leader in the locker room, setting an example with his work ethic. He's defensively responsible, often matching up against the opposition's top lines. And he's versatile, able to play up and down the lineup as needed. These qualities might not show up on the score sheet, but they're valuable to any team, especially one with Stanley Cup aspirations like the Oilers. So what's the final verdict on Zach Hyman? Is he an elite goal scorer who's finally found his groove? Or is he just the luckiest man in the NHL, benefiting from playing with generational talent? The truth, as always, probably lies somewhere in the middle. Yes, Hyman's numbers are almost certainly inflated by playing with McDavid and Draisaitl, and yes, a lot of his goals come from what some might call easy chances. But at the end of the day, Hyman is doing exactly what the Oilers need him to do. He's providing a net front presence, finishing the chances created by his superstar teammates, and contributing to one of the most potent offenses in the NHL. Is Zach Hyman a 50-goal scorer on most other teams? Probably not, but on the Oilers, in his specific role, he's proven to be incredibly valuable. Sometimes being in the right places at the right time, both on the ice and in your career, is a skill in itself. So the next time you see Zach Hyman tap in another goal from the edge of the crease, don't just roll your eyes. Appreciate the fact that he's found a way to maximize his skills and become an important piece of a Stanley Cup contender, even if he did get a little lucky along the way. And hey, if you made it this far, you must really care about hockey analysis, so why not hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell? That way you'll never miss another one of our upcoming videos. And speaking of other videos, tap on one of these videos right here to keep watching. I'll see you in the next one.